Right after I completed Devil Summoner Raido Kuzunaha vs the Soulless Army, I started searching for the next SMT game that I wanted to cover, and thanks to my supporters' advices, I decided to take a look at Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers. And of course, it's 3DS Remaster. Remembering the events, the setup before the Soul Hackers 2 kinda prepared me for the upcoming new title. Well, I thought that I was ready for an old school dungeon crawling and tough old school bosses of SMT that requires a lot of level grinding, specific spells and demons for specific dungeons, and I'm quite trampled. I had fun, but I also have lots of criticism that appeared by my run, since Soul Hackers by some aspects aged quite badly. On the other hand, Soul Hackers story video will be ready before the Soul Hackers 2 launch, so if you want to learn more about the characters, story and the setting, be sure to follow and stay tuned for more SMT contents. Originally, Devil Summoner Soul Hackers was released in 1997 for PlayStation and Sega Saturn only in Japan, and reached Western audience with Nintendo 3DS version with English voices and remastered visuals. So keep in mind that you are playing an old school SMT game, 3 years younger than Shin Megami Tensei If, and 1 year younger than the first Persona title. Right from the start, I need to say that I wouldn't recommend Devil Summoner Soul Hackers for newcomers of SMT series. If you are looking for SMT game to enter the series, SMT 3, 4 and 5, also Digital Devil Saga and even SMT Strange Journey are a far better choice. My reason for is mostly visuals of Soul Hackers, as its resolutions renewed, sprites appear without much movement or details. I couldn't find any charm by its visuals this time, so I don't think it might appeal a lot of people, but only SMT fans. Soul Hackers' story begins in a fictional Japanese metropolis called Amami City. Technology company Algonsoft has helped city to develop quickly by connecting every home and business to its network, creating a cyberpunkish ambience. With its successful expansion, it has increased its influence also by the Japanese government, and preparing to launch a virtual world called Paradigm X. Our nameless protagonist, being a member of hacker group Spookies, hacks Paradigm X server to gain an access to beta testing with his friend Hitomi. Within this virtual world, our protagonist encounters a spirit called Kinap, who then warns protagonist about a disaster that's gonna occur within this city, and makes our character to relive the last memories of deceased summoners. Learning about the demons of Algonsoft and gun comp that a former agent called Urabe uses, protagonist gains access to deceased summoners' gun comp and unleashes a female demon called Nemissa that possesses Hitomi. Nemisa wants to learn more of her reason of existence. Together with Spooky's hacker group, protagonist and Nemisa start searching, spying on Algonsoft and Paradigm X that will soon try to unleash demons upon the citizens of Amami City for their own goals. Evil corporation doing evil stuff, so to say.
Good on you. I didn't know you were so upset about it. We're a leader in Yuichi.
Mischievous but fun, trustworthy yet charming character of them all, Nemissa, carries the whole cast on her shoulders. To be honest, on my second run, I couldn't quite like the members of Spookies, and also the villains or the side characters that belong to the Kuzunoha family. Nemissa's voice acting, her powers, design, her mood swings that attracted so much that I felt like she could have been the main character, and that she should appear by the next Soul Hackers game. Depending on your comment to her appearance as cute, beautiful and sexy, she gains magical attributes and begins nuking from demons to bosses, destroying everyone also while carrying the game. By every aspect, Nemissa is a goddess. She is the Shin Megami Tensei. If she wasn't there, I will probably quit Soul Hackers at some point. But her story, her dialogues and the taste that she brings is worth the trouble.
Let's go!
Our main character and Nemissa can be defined as physical and magical, as our nameless protect cannot cast any magic and spells but can hit like a truck with a sword and summon any demon with his gun comp. Nemissa on the other hand is a glass cannon. My advice is to tell her that she is sexy to gain thunder and healing spells quite earlier and reach the almighty Megiddola spells around the late game before the last dungeon. They are both main pillars of your team, as the demons are mostly summoned by a boss battle. And about the demons, as I mentioned by the Raido Kuzunaha review, the old school real deal demon negotiation is also here. You find yourself talking about the most hilarious topics and presenting your opinions, trying to charm the demons and trick them into joining you. Sometimes they ask who your barber is. Sometimes you flirt with the female demons and tell them that you want their babies. Sometimes you gotta act tough, depending on their personality. You need to be the smoothest summoner that ever lived. Demons that you recruited can be either summoned to fight with you, fuse with other demons to create new ones, or to fuse it with your sword to create a stronger weapon, making your main character a badass. Although demon negotiation looks fun and absurd, it can also become quite frustrating and sometimes your own doom if you piss them off. Aside from modern mainline SMT games, there are also two currencies in Soul Hackers, just like old SMT games: Japanese yen and demon currency mecha. Mecha can be exchanged to Japanese yen to purchase gears for Protect and Nemissa, healing items, supportive tools, and also to summon demons and keep them on your party while wandering around the dungeon. My advice will be to use Protect, Nemissa, and the free demon called Zeet that can get stronger with each demon fusion you make. This Zeet demon can be obtained by the first story mission that takes you to the warehouse. And if you keep on fusing it with other demons, just with these three characters, dungeon progress won't be a problem. Unless... First 10 hours. First 10 hours of the dungeon content, their layout was without any problem. Normal dungeon crawling level design with lots of exploration, going from here to there to find the correct route, opening up new passages and stuff. But right after the first half of the game, level design turns into a hot mess. Endless puzzles within mazes leads to frustration, as with each random encounter that happens while trying to find the correct way. To be honest, I get that it's an old game with an old level design. Unfortunately, this is the biggest flaw of Soul Hackers. Uninteresting, dull level design that never motivates players to what's about to come. As mentioned previously, I only recommend Soul Hackers for players who are familiar with SMT series. If you are new to this series, I recommend first to play from SMT 3 to 5 and then Strange Journey rather than Soul Hackers. To be frank, I would prefer seeing Soul Hackers remade from scratch, at least with SMT 4 gameplay and visuals that would at least gather the attention and interest with its visuals and sprite animations. Soul Hackers has some interesting characters, but I believe there are far better choices ahead. More interesting characters to meet, fair bosses to challenge. If you played bunch of SMT games and ready to go for old school ones, then be my guest and lose yourself in this maze. I know there are lots of SMT fans that love Nemisa and Soul Hackers, but I would prefer either SMT 2 or Strange Journey if I were to play a dungeon crawling SMT game, since I don't count SMT 4 as a dungeon crawling. Soul Hackers is, with its flaws and charms, for Nemisa's sake, is a B- from me. Lack of both visuals and interesting villains and level design kinda did it for me. Lots of people might see Soul Hackers as an underrated SMT game, but I think there are some reasons why Soul Hackers is not a popular SMT title. I just hope that we see some characters and maybe even Nemissa by the Soul Hackers too.
Now let's go.